Today on Here for the Right Reasons. Nick Viall opened up about what he thought about Blac's big return.
I don't question that he believes what he says. You just kind of question, like, do you just kind of love hard, bro?
And Kaylin Miller-Keys shares her opinions about the rotation of Bachelor in Paradise hosts.
I don't think it matters the slightest bit, but I do think Bachelor in Paradise is all about like comedy and comedic energy, and I think that's just going to enhance that.
Then we're breaking down everything you need to know about last night's Bachelorette. We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hi guys, Mandy DeCamp here with Sarah Huron, senior editor. Welcome to Here for the Right Reasons. We're on, I think, week 4 of Katie's season, right?
Yes, and there are so many questions about the right reasons, more so than ever, I feel like.
I actually think it's like the theme of the season, so we're very on trend.
We certainly are. But before we break down from everything from last night's episode, because there is so much to talk about, Thomas, we want to talk a little bit more about my chat with Nick Viall, right?
Yep, absolutely. So he chatted all about Blac's big return. We've been anticipating this. We've been waiting for it. So let's hear what Nick thought about it.
The Blake of it all. I mean, I'm sure someone's asked you this already, but as someone who has, shown up a little late on a season, good idea, bad idea, predictions.
I think it's a great idea.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the show has gotten better, but and maybe it's because of social media and the kind of the staying power and the star power some of their alumni have had, but the show hasn't necessarily done a great job of rewarding people for coming back on. Not that they should be rewarded, but usually it's quite the opposite. They usually penalize people for showing back up. Obviously,
Heather last season was a disaster.
Yeah. And, with me, I obviously had like some success in the sense that I stayed and Caitlin and I had a connection. I think it's great TV. Blake is going to get crap, obviously, for someone who fell in love with Claire without validation, fell in love with Tayshia without validation. So when I'm in love with Katie, it's fair to question. I don't question that he believes what he says. You just kind of question, like, do you just kind of love hard, bro? I don't know the backstory. It sounds like there was some dialogue between Katie and Blake. I don't think it was to the degree that it was with Caitlin and I when it was like a pretty intense, 2 months of dialogue, but I do think Blake will go far. I do think they focused a decent amount on Blake in the season preview, right? And Blake, is interesting as he was on the 2 seasons, he wasn't necessarily a star. Mm-hmm. He wasn't like this huge character. He was a character for sure. So that tells me he's going to be around, and yeah, and I think it's great. I'm rooting for Blake. I hope. I think he'll do well. I think he'll shake it up. I'll be interesting to see how the guys respond to him. I'm
sure it'll go well with them. So they're always so happy to see late arrivals.
Yeah, well, it'll be like the people. Aaron's gonna. Oh my God, I think that's already pretty predictable. But like the Gregs of it all, right? Because what was interesting about me showing up for Caitlin's season is just how much Sean hated me. And Sean was if I didn't show up, I mean, it would have been like, it was just.
The season was over.
Season was over, right? And then, and that made it interesting because Sean was very much the front runner and Sean just hated me. But will Greg hate Blake, right?
Right.
Will Michael hate Blake? Will
Connor, I guess.
Yeah, Connor, and I don't see those guys being like Sean. And so I wonder how that will and I just, Aaron, handsome, good looking guy. I don't see a connection between him and Katie.
No.
So will the guys that Katie's into have an issue with Blake? I think is the big question. And I have a hard time believing it, but we'll see. Anything's possible. If there is a little spark of irritation, I promise you they'll find a way to throw gasoline on it.
Very fair.
So we'll see.
It's so interesting, Nick's the expert, right? About popping in a little late into the season. Yeah. And we're going to get into Blake specifically because I really was kind of feeling it between them in a similar way to a Caitlyn and Nick. And I think there's some parallel there for sure. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, I do. I think like most of these pop back ins don't work. They usually, stick around for a few hours and they're gone. This one, there's something there. There is something there. And I felt it. And I was like, this guy could go maybe top 2, maybe winner. They're kind of cute together.
They kind of are. It's kind of like I was not anticipating being on Blake's side at
Me neither.
all.
Nope.
At all. Nick also, he told me that he spoke to Kody about Blake, which means that Blake was there last week, and that she said she had already met him. So I think this is just a classic case of they edited it and put it in a different order because there was so much going on last week. But it's still weird to know that. Like I was thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah, no, I watched your Nick conversation after I watched it, and I was like, wait a second, I need to go back and watch this again because what do you mean? But yeah. Obviously, they've also spoke before the show. I think that they say that they had, which is nice that they're not hiding that. I appreciate that they're being more frank this season with that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm for it. I'm all about Blake and Kody.
Lady. Sure.
Yeah.
I also talked to Kaylin Miller-Keys this week. Obviously, she is with Dean from season 6 of Bachelor in Paradise. So she knows all about what it's like to be on the beach. And they just finished filming season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise. I think they're all coming home, returning to Instagram. I can't wait. And we know we're going to see celebrity rotating hosts this season. And I had to ask Kaylin what she thought of that new plot twist. Would you and Dean ever go host a date or, they're doing like rotating Bachelor in Paradise hosts? Would you guys ever go, hang out for a minute there?
What's funny is we tried to go to the beach. It's just like such a special place for us because like he came back and we left and we tried to go to Sayulita and actually go on that beach because his brother just got married there and we got kicked out. So I would love to just go back and like reminisce and just be like, oh, this is where like our love story started.
Yes, that would be really cool, I think, for fans to see too. They are doing these like rotating hosts of like celebrities and stuff for Paradise. Some people think maybe that might take away from the relationships on the show. Other people think it's cool. Do you think it even matters, or does it affect the show at all as someone who was filmed it?
Yeah, I don't think it matters the slightest bit, but I do think Bachelor in Paradise is all about like comedy and comedic energy, and I think that's just going to enhance that. So I think it's fun and it's just an entertaining way for normally you just have one host and now all these contestants are like, who's coming next? Who's coming next? So it's kind of a fun surprise in a better way where it's not like stressing about a girl or a guy coming down. It's like, who's the host?
Yeah, they get a little bit more of a fun surprise versus only drama.
Right.
I hear you have
a rare.
Rare, yes.
So are you a fan of the rotating hosts?
I think it's interesting because it was like Tanner Tolbert went on this whole thing about how it's going to take away from the show. But then Kaylin kind of made an interesting point when she was like, it's going to make the contestants like seem at ease because they're going to know maybe like it's a little less about them. Which I don't know. I really don't think I can judge until I see it because I don't want it to be like the David Spade show, like Tanner said. However, I think it will put the contestants at ease a little bit and be kind of an interesting take on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Tanner was a little over the top, in my opinion, on this. I was like, pump the brakes. It's Bachelor in Paradise.
When he was
not like a presidential debate. Like,
yes.
My opinion on it, I love David Spade, and I've been following him for a while and like his love of The Bachelor. And I think that's hysterical. And I actually don't mind if it becomes the David Spade show a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the rotation, it's like, is it going to be like when it's usually a rotating, like who's coming down next? Is it going to be like that many hosts? Like how many hosts are we talking?
Well, we know Lance Bass, Titus Burgess, David Spade, and Little John, I think
are Sarah and Wells confirmed, or was that a rumor?
That we know Wells will be there, Master of Ceremony. So basically, I think they're implying that these celebrity guest hosts will probably stick around, host a couple dates, and Wells will be the one who says like, this is the final rose.
Okay. Okay.
And unclear if Sarah Hyland will be there. Yeah. It would make sense for her to show up.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, I think if anyone can really fill Chris's shoes too, Wells is a good fit.
And it's organic.
Yeah, and then Sarah could be his little sidekick. I'm into that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm into David Spade. I'm into Lance because that's just funny, and we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. As always, Paradise is the best, but there's still Kody. So much of Kady's journey we gotta get through before we're rewarded with the beat, right?
So let's get to last night's episode. Buzzword. What was your buzzword that summed up the evening?
Manipulation.
Ooh, okay.
The guys used it a lot, and I kind of felt like I was being manipulated as well by a lot of things going on. What was yours?
Yeah. Good old fashioned fun. I kind of enjoyed the whole like eating Twinkies date and like the truth or dare. I don't know. Like I was saying last week how they're not traveling anymore and it gets kind of boring, but I don't know. I kind of liked this date. It was weird. But Katie said at one point, like, that the pepper thing was the ultimate test of who she's looking for. And then I was like, well, what? Like,
right.
I think it was just like good fun. And I loved Michael, who ate all the Twinkies, and he said he hasn't had a carb in 7 years, which I believe he has not had a carb in 7 years because he looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the fact that they actually made him eat a plate of Twinkies was awesome.
I wonder if he actually ate all 5,000 calories of Twinkies.
I wanted to see that. I wanted to see like every one of them, I'm like, did they really make him do that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that date was fun, and like they showed a decent amount of it, but not too much. But at the same time, when she started talking about how like this is going to represent like who's down and who's this, like I was like, maybe not so much.
Yeah, no, this is just like, can you have a good time together? Yeah. Or can they, be game to, or do they have a good sense of humor, which is important, but it doesn't mean like,
I mean, there's nothing worse than when they like act out on the group date and they don't want to participate. Because like if you've ever watched an episode of the show, like there's a chance you're going to be asked to, fight someone. You're going to have to get naked. You're going to, eat a plate of Twinkies. Yeah. So I don't like when they like don't want to participate. However, sometimes I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with literally anything? But Katie's one of those leads that is really leaning into it. And she takes being the Bachelorette very seriously, which I thought reminded me a little bit of Tayshia. I thought Tayshia did the same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
They are kind of similar to each other. The only thing about Katie, I wish sometimes she would laugh a little bit more. I feel like she's always very serious, even on like this, stupid, silly date.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's just have fun. Let's like laugh till we're crying. And I don't know. I need to see that.
Like one was in his underwear, which we'll get to, but I mean, talk about Katie laughing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But first, the thirst of the night. What was your thirst?
Okay. So my thirstiest, so I gave it to Blac, but I take it back too. But I always,
it is thirsty. No, it's definitely a thirsty movie.
Anyone who returns to a show for a second or third time, you're thirsty, period. Oh, and that's, he's getting my thirsty moment of the night. Now, having said that, when I saw the moment later on, and then I kind of take it back, but yeah, he still gets it.
No, he's still thirsty. I mean, for Katie to even call it out and be like, this is your third Bachelorette. Like she had to make it clear, like, I know you were only on one other season, but you confessed your love for Claire. You confessed your love for Tayshia, which is why when I heard he was going to be on the season, I was like, this is such a joke. This guy's such a joke. And then there's somehow the charm freaking worked on me. But
no, I didn't even like him on the other seasons.
Me either.
I don't know what happened. Did he like work out or I don't
know. I think it's this like little spark with him and Katie. But my thirsty moment goes to Thomas, specifically when he offered to sign something to prove that he was here for the right reasons. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there was fourth wall breaking for sure in this episode, but like, did he think they were going to bring out like a contract that ABC was going to be like, we will not pick you to be the Bachelor? Like, what did that even mean? I will sign something right now. Like, sign what?
What does that mean? That is bizarre. He was so desperate by the end of that episode. It was like, just go home, Thomas. Just go home.
What did you think of the Trey versus Andrew S feud over whether to tell Katie about him?
So I went back and forth on it because at the end of the day, because Trey said something, Thomas went home. Mm-hmm. So
and Trey got a rose.
What?
And Trey got
a rose, which wow. I mean, I was originally on Andrew's side where I didn't think he should say anything because I'm the type who like, if I was going on the show, I would not talk about other people's relationships. It's just like, I would use that small amount of time that you have for the connection that you have with the lead. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw, like, I don't know if she would have sent Thomas home without that.
Yeah.
Even though Thomas had already said it himself to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when they had the confessional date, like he said all this, it wasn't really new information. So, but I think I'm glad that Trey did it because Thomas went home.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting point because technically this was a continuation of last week when he was very honest about the fact that he thought about being the Bachelor. I also think they all want to be the Bachelor. So I guess he's a moron for saying it out loud. But like, let's be real here. You all want to be the Bachelor.
Yeah, right.
And I think that it is true. Like the fact that I guess just Trey doing it, it surprised me that it worked and she gave him the rose for it as kind of a reward. That shocked me a lot. But then during the cocktail party, when they all decided to follow suit and then, you know, use their time to talk about him, or at least that's what they made it seem like, she felt like she had no other choice. So these guys really wanted Thomas out the same way they really wanted Carl out. So another part of me just thinks they're going to keep trying to pick a guy. And I don't like that they're like controlling Katie's narrative because it's her story.
Yeah. Nick actually, I think said something like that to you too, Nick Viall, to bring him back. And he said that he feels like they don't think Katie can make her own decisions.
Yeah. I don't like
that.
And
I didn't think of it that way. And then I was like, wait, that is kind of what they're doing. That is weird.
And Andrew S., it was really interesting for him to say, because it's almost like when your friend is in like a bad relationship and you have to, you know, you put in your 2 cents and you're like, I don't know if I trust them. But then if they want to go back to them, you're going to lose your friend. Like you kind of just have to let your friend learn on their own. Like I kind of felt like they do need to let Katie, like they did warn her. Yeah. It's not like they didn't say anything at all, which was Andrew S.'s point.
Yeah.
But then their argument of like, do you want to let her get manipulated? I was like, okay, I don't know. But Andrew S. also was confident in his relationship with her because he's, you know, doing well. So I guess he doesn't need this. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm on the same page as you. So best line of the night, who did yours go to?
I mean, I think it has to just go to that Katie declaration of sending Thomas home.
Yeah. I mean, what was that?
What I learned about you tonight is you're selfish, unkind, and a liar. Your Bachelor audition ends tonight, so get out.
Your Bachelor audition ends tonight. I love that. It's so good. That's what I had too. I had also Caitlin Bristow said that one way to not be the Bachelor is to talk about being the Bachelor. And she's like, duh. Like you might all want to be it, but don't talk about it.
Tasha and Caitlin were getting very like defensive really quick. They did not like Thomas. I feel like were another reason they were trying. I mean, she was like, I'm not so sure. Tasha's face was like, you got to send him home.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were not giving opinions. They were definitely being open about what they actually thought.
Yeah. Did you have a cringe before we hand out roses?
Cringe, I think just the entire Thomas situation for me, of course. And then the jalapenos. I was like, if I have to watch one more Bachelor or Bachelorette eat a jalapeno, I can't.
It's so true. At least the Twinkies was something different. There's always like a hot pepper, and I don't
always a hot pepper. They're always trying to like break a world record or something. It's like,
where did I find these?
I don't know.
My cringe, we got to talk about Greg a little bit because I've been like a team Greg, ride or die. I mean, for the 4 weeks that we've known him, my whole life, team Greg now. For the 4 weeks we've known him, I've been pretty confident in the fact that I thought Greg was going to win. I think he and Katie have a strong connection. I thought he was super cute and genuine and like a guy that you would just meet out at a bar, and he was so nervous. And I totally was for Greg. And that might all still be true. I have no idea. We never really know with stuff like this. But over last week, there was this little drama where Katie liked a meme that was joking about the fact that Greg went to acting school and maybe didn't have the best intentions. And she liked it and unliked it. And, you know, it's just a meme. Maybe it means nothing. But I think the fact that Katie, I feel like, knows what she's doing. And I think she liked it for a reason. And then in this episode specifically, she said to him, you're not putting on an act, you're authentic. And they had like the romantic music playing, like Greg is getting that edit. So it made me cringe thinking about the fact that we might have another like falls apart post show.
Yeah, like another Jed. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jed. It was giving me Jed vibes a little bit.
It seems like it's going in that direction. And didn't his sister also comment on the fact that she liked the meme?
Yes.
Which makes me think.
His sister like clapped
in Paradise.
Like, Katie was anti-bullying on Matt James season, and like for her to like this, isn't that like against that? And I was like, okay, like something's going on. And he did go to acting school, and there was a Facebook like I don't know, this is all like Reddit crazy stuff, but there was like a screenshot of his mom apparently commenting when he was because Greg was supposed to be on Claire's season and got cut during the quarantine, and he posted like a picture last March like at the airport is seemingly leaving for the season, and his mom commented like, hope this brings new opportunities or something. And then people are like, oh, he's there for like, it's so crazy. Yeah. And again, they all want to be the Bachelor. So whatever, but it's just making me cringe a little bit. And I'm really nervous.
Well, it's like, we've invested all this time, 4 episodes. And now we already know that she liked this meme. So it's over.
It's over. It's over. Olivia Rodrigo. She's definitely heartbroken.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right. Who does your rose go to this week?
My rose, of course, goes to Blake Moynes, the new love of my life.
Love. I even went to his Instagram before. I'm like, he's cute.
He's cuter than I remembered. And I just thought it was like, it felt so real after so much of this episode, which I mean, and I love when they fight about who's being there for the right or wrong reasons. Like, that's why we like this show, right? Yeah. But it did feel so Bachelor-ish. Like, there was so much talk of like, who's there for the right reasons and how this journey and like a lot of the cliches. And Blake just was there in his boxers. He locked himself out of his hotel room. He was clearly like rambling and nervous. Like, it felt like real life for a second. And I think that was so refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm into them. I think it was a very genuine moment when she knocked on his door. I would love to know what time that was. I feel like it was like 4 a.m.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was because he hadn't brushed his teeth. Clearly, he said
they said the rose ceremony when Thomas showed up, they were like, it's midnight already, and like we missed all this time. And she went to see Blake, if they're showing it in the right order, after that. So it was definitely late.
Yeah, and we've spoken to so many people, and the rose ceremonies goes to like 4 a.m. So that would make sense, I guess. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm rooting for them. I liked his little hoodie. I think that like their height works well together.
He was just a giddy schoolgirl around him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that there's something to say that we've seen it on Bachelor in Paradise before when like they're DMing beforehand. There is that kind of like flirtiness when they first meet because it's like, I mean, I'm like dating myself, but when you used to talk to someone on like AOL AIM chat, you know,
rush home and hope their thing was green, like they were online. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the old school DMs. And it's like, you know, when you would see that person at school, you'd be like, ooh, like there's tension and, you know, so I agree with them reaching out to each other beforehand.
Yeah. Does he get your rose too?
He doesn't get my rose. My rose is going to Michael the Virgin. I just like him, and I really am voting for him for the next Bachelor.
Wow.
Yeah. I just feel like he's got that, like, he's super cute. He's getting cuter every week, and he's kind of funny. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who pack your bags? What's back your bags?
Back your bags, obviously, Thomas. I agree with her. You know, it's got to go. And then my other pack your bags goes to anyone who hasn't gotten one-on-one time with her yet. Because at this point, if you haven't gotten one-on-one time, in history, has anyone gotten to episode 4 with no one-on-one time and made it to the end?
I should do a deep dive into the farthest group date. Almost like I feel like Catherine Lowe could have honestly happened in the bag. Someone who made it as far as like a week 4, 5, and 1.
That's true, because Catherine Lowe, I don't remember.
Yeah, she was like came out of nowhere. It felt
That's so true. Okay, maybe that would prove my theory wrong.
But I understand what you mean. I really do think, though, the guys who got sent home after Thomas in this week's episode, I was like, who are these people? So I think she is cutting like the dead weight. Like I didn't recognize one of them.
No, me neither. There was a few guys. I already forgot his name. I was going to mention it, but I never knew his name.
The other Connor who wasn't the cat, I think.
The other Connor. Yes, yeah. I think so. Also, where was Connor the cat man?
I don't know.
Barely in this episode.
Barely in this one. I need Andrew S. to stop with his fake accent. I like Andrew S. I think he's super funny, and I'm getting a little bit more of a friend vibe with them, like on the one-on-one time they had during the group date. Like it kind of feels friend zoning to me, but he's super cute, charismatic. He's great TV. I liked, him getting in the drama, but also by telling people to get out of it. It was a fresh take. I liked it, but I really, really hate the fake British accent. I think it's really cringy.
When watching, I wrote down in my notes, cute British. He pulled out the British accent when he was doing the ear thing. What are they saying? Like whispers?
Yes, like 10 seconds of like sex talk in Katie's ear.
Yeah. I was like, okay, funny. He pulled out the British talk. Then he did it again when he did the fake proposal. And I was like, oh, no. What? You're not British.
No. What? It's so weird. It's like the callback. It's like unnecessary. You're not British. We get it. And then even like, I also have to say, I need to pack my bags to any of these fake proposals. I think it's so weird. I hate when they do the dates when we're at wedding dresses. I hate when they do the dates where they fake propose. I didn't like Greg saying like, I love you for the first time in that. Like that felt like, was that acting?
Was that real?
Acting on a proposal.
Yeah. That was weird.
I love you so much.
I know. And she liked it.
And she took that as like, I love you. But I took it as like, oh, this is my scene.
Right.
But maybe now I'm just reading into the meme. I know I'm so stressed out.
Well, you can't help but read into the meme.
I know.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah, and to our guests. Come back to our YouTube channel every Tuesday for more Bachelor recaps. Thanks so much. Bye.